Hello and welcome back to Speak Easy English. Today we are talking about a very serious topic for landlords.
Yes, and this idea comes from one of our listeners, Nilofer Shariat 2803. Thank you for your kind comment and suggestion.
The topic is about what to do if a tenant refuses to pay rent or utilities.
This situation is stressful, but it is also common in Canada and the United States.
Every province or state has its own rules. For example, in Ontario, you must go through the Landlord and Tenant Board.
In the United States, landlords usually go to housing court. You cannot just change the locks or throw the tenant's things away.
That's right. Today's episode is about English phrases you can use when you face this situation.
Please remember, we are not giving legal advice. We are helping you practice real English sentences for these conversations.
And as always, repeat the phrases with us. It will make you sound clear and confident.
Great. Let's start with the first step, asking about unpaid rent.
Now, let's move to the first real step. Imagine you are the landlord and your tenant has not paid rent.
It is important to be clear, but also polite. You can start with something simple like, "You have not paid your rent for this month."
Or, "The rent was due on the 1st, but I have not received it yet."
Sometimes the tenant will make excuses. You can reply, "I understand, but the payment is still required."
If you want to remind them gently, you can say, "Please send the rent as soon as possible."
Or, "Can you let me know when you will make the payment?"
Let's practice. Repeat with us, "You have not paid your rent for this month."
Good job. Another useful phrase is, "The rent is late."
If the tenant ignores you, you can keep calm and say, "This is a serious matter."
Yes. Staying calm helps you stay professional. Next, let's talk about utilities like water and electricity.
Next, let's look at how to talk about unpaid utilities like water, gas, or electricity.
You can say, "The utility bill has not been paid."
Or, "The electricity account is overdue."
If you want to remind them politely, you can try, "Please take care of the water bill soon."
Another option is, "The gas payment is still missing from last month."
Let's practice together. Repeat after us. "The utility bill has not been paid."
If the tenant says they forgot, you can answer, "Thank you for letting me know, but please pay it this week."
If they refuse or delay again, you can stay calm and say, "Utilities must be kept up to date."
Good communication makes it clear that rent and utilities are both important.
Now that we've practiced talking about utilities, let's see how to explain the consequences politely.
Now it is time to explain what can happen if rent or utilities are not paid.
You can say, "If the rent is not paid, I will have to give you a notice."
Another phrase is, without payment, I cannot continue this rental agreement.
If you want to sound formal but calm, try. Please understand, this is a serious obligation.
Or, I must follow the rules set by the housing board.
Let's practice one key sentence. Repeat after us. If the rent is not paid, I will have to give you a notice.
Good. If the tenant still refuses, you can add, this may lead to legal action.
Or, the next step is to contact the landlord and tenant office.
Speaking firmly but politely helps protect your position and keeps the conversation professional.
Next, let's see how to set a clear deadline for payment.
After you explain the consequences, the next step is to set a clear deadline.
You can say, please pay the rent by Friday.
Or, the payment must be received by the 10th of this month.
If you want to be softer, you can add, I hope you can send it before the end of this week.
Sometimes a tenant will ask for more time. You can reply, I understand, but the deadline cannot change.
Another helpful phrase is, if the payment is not received by this date, I must move to the next step.
Let's practice. Repeat after us. Please pay the rent by Friday.
Good. You can also practice, the payment must be received by the 10th of this month.
Setting a deadline shows you are serious and helps avoid endless delays.
Next, let's see what to do if the tenant still refuses to pay after the deadline.
If the tenant still refuses to pay after the deadline, you must mention a written notice.
You can say, I am giving you a written notice for non-payment of rent.
Or, this is an official notice that the utilities are overdue.
If you want to sound more formal, you can add, this notice is required by law.
Let's practice one sentence together. Repeat with us. I am giving you a written notice for non-payment of rent.
Good. Another useful phrase is, you will receive this notice by mail or email.
If the tenant argues, you can reply, I understand your concern, but the notice is already issued.
Or, the notice is the first step before legal action.
Clear words like these help show that the matter is now official.
Next, let's talk about what legal steps may follow in Canada and the United States.
Now, let's talk about what happens after the notice. This is when legal steps begin.
In Canada, many provinces require you to apply to the Landlord and Tenant Board.
You can say, I will file an application with the Landlord and Tenant Board.
In the United States, the process is usually through housing court.
A useful phrase is, I need to start an eviction case in court.
If you want to sound calm, you can add, this is the legal process we must follow.
Let's practice one sentence together. Repeat with us. I need to start an eviction case in court.
Good. If you need more time, you can also ask, When will the hearing take place?
Or, what documents do I need to bring?
Remember, you cannot remove the tenant yourself. Only the court or board has the final power.
Next, let's do a role play to see how the situation might sound in real life.
Now let's listen to a short role play between a landlord and a tenant when things get more serious.
Tenant, the rent is already 2 months late. When will you pay?
I am sorry, but I do not have the money right now.
I understand your situation, but I must remind you that payment is required.
Can you give me more time?
I already gave you extra time. If I do not receive payment by Friday, I will give you a written notice.
That feels unfair.
This is not about fairness. It is about the rules. The notice is the first step in the legal process.
So you are really going to file a case.
Yes, if the rent is still unpaid, I will file with the housing board.
Okay, I will try to find the money this week.
Thank you. Please let me know by Thursday.
This role play shows how the landlord stays calm, uses clear words, and explains each step.
Next, we will share some tips for landlords on how to stay calm and legal in this situation.
Before we finish, let's share some important tips for landlords.
Tip 1. Always stay calm. Losing your temper can make the problem worse.
Tip 2. Never try to remove the tenant by yourself. It is illegal to change locks or move their things out.
Tip 3. Keep records of every message, payment, and notice. Written records protect you.
Tip 4. If you are unsure about the process, contact a legal clinic or housing help center.
Let's practice one useful sentence. Repeat with us. I must follow the legal process.
Good. These tips remind you that being patient and professional is the best way.
Next, let's look at special situations like partial payments or payment plans.
Sometimes tenants do not pay the full amount but offer a partial payment.
You can say, "Thank you, but the full rent is still required."
Or, I can accept this part, but the balance must be paid by next week.
If the tenant asks for a payment plan, you can reply, "Please suggest the dates you can pay."
Or, I need the plan in writing to make sure it is clear.
Let's practice one phrase. Repeat after us. The balance must be paid by next week.
Good. This shows you are flexible but still firm about the full amount.
If you feel unsure, you can also say, "I will need to confirm this with the housing office."
These situations can be tricky, but calm and clear words help you stay in control.
Now, let's finish with a summary and final review challenge.
We have covered a lot today, so let's make a quick summary.
Yes, we practiced asking about unpaid rent, talking about utilities, and explaining consequences.
We also learned how to set a deadline, give a warning notice, and understand the legal process.
Then we listened to a role play and shared useful tips for staying calm and legal.
Finally, we talked about special cases like partial payments or payment plans.
These are all real sentences you can use if you ever face this problem in Canada or the United States.
Now it is your turn. Let's do a quick challenge. Repeat after us. 1. Please pay the rent by Friday.
Please pay the rent by Friday. Please pay the rent by Friday.
2. I am giving you a written notice for non-payment of rent.
I am giving you a written notice for non-payment of rent. I am giving you a written notice for non-payment of rent.
3. I need to start an eviction case in court.
I need to start an eviction case in court. I need to start an eviction case in court.
Great job practicing with us today. Remember, stay calm, stay professional, and use clear English.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Your support helps us keep making more lessons for you.
Thanks for practicing with us. See you next time.
Bye for now. Keep learning and stay confident.